Greetings. My name is Jim Wickens with nfldraftfanatics.com, and this video and podcast is going to demonstrate the FANATIC mode functionality for the Indianapolis Colts. So FANATIC mode is a special way to do a mock draft, and the general purpose of FANATIC mode is you want a unique mock draft. Okay, so for me to explain that a little bit, I would like to back up and explain a little bit about nfldraftfanatics.com. And I'm going to go over here to Team Needs and open up Team Needs, and we're going to look at the Indianapolis Colts. So the way nfldraftfanatics.com is designed is every team has its own player board. So if you look at the Indianapolis Colts, you can see the team needs. There's a player list over here to the far right. I'm going to open up the player list. Okay. Every team, the player list is in a different order. This is the way that the simulator loads players for the Colts. So if you notice, you don't see like the Marvin Harrisons or anybody else sitting at the top. And that's because Colts fans have picked all of these players, and the only way to get a player to move to the top is to pick him. So if you can't pick Marvin Harrison Jr. because he's not available, he's not going to be at the top. Same with the Caleb Williams and the Drake Mays of the world. Okay, so this is the player board that is unique to the Colts. That's what this is. So let's come back here. Let's find the Colts. We're going to do a 4-round mock. So 4 rounds, Indianapolis Colts. And we want to talk about FANATIC mode. What does it mean to do a unique mock draft? I am going to say we want to do 5 unique mock drafts. We're going to do 5 unique mocks for the Colts. Each of those mocks is 4 rounds. And then I'm going to hit start. The first mock will look what we'll call normal, meaning that all the players are there. Simulator hasn't done anything to challenge the user. The simulator is just doing what the simulator does. Okay, so the first round has done what it does. Most of that to me looks within reason. Okay, and if you don't like it, come in and do, like here would be an example. Adissa Isaac was a unique pick there, but the rest of that looks like it's within moderation. Okay, of being normal. So we have the Colts. They're looking for cornerback, edge, wide receiver. So we say cornerback, edge, wide receiver. So out of this list, who do they pick? Now, Troy Franklin is currently 17th on their player board. Of that group of players, I like Troy Franklin, so I'm picking him. He was 17th, 1-7 at the time that I picked it. Okay, so now it's going through. And we get to the Colts' 2nd round pick. We're looking for a corner, edge, guard. Okay, corner, edge, guard. And if you notice, BB was close to the top. This is not the first time a Colts fan has used the simulator. So if the number 1 guard has moved to the top of the player board, he got there because fans picked him and put him there. Okay, BB was not 36th on the player board that was loaded to the site. So the way that BB got to the Colts board there in the 2nd round is fans picked him and put him there. Okay. So at this point, we haven't done corner. I have to remind myself. We've done wide receiver. So we have to do corner, and edge. So not my favorite player list, but I will take the highest corner on the board, move into round 4. And the Colts have a round 4 pick. At this point, we would be looking for edge or safety. And there's a safety in every round, right? So not liking the edge list. So I'm going to go with the top ranked safety. And that concludes my first mock Okay, so now it's starting the second mock. And what I want you to see is right before the Colts pick, okay, I picked Troy Franklin last time, and this time the simulator makes Troy Franklin go to the team to pick right before the Colts. It won't let me pick the players I just picked. This is what we mean by unique. So if Franklin's not there, who do we like to the Colts? That's cornerback, edge, wide receiver. So that's cornerback, wide receiver, edge. So out of this list, who do we like? And let me add one more wrinkle to this. So I'm going to go safety. And if somebody thinks that Tyler Nubin can go in round 1, he's currently ranked 61st. I'm going to take Nubin in round 1. He was 61 at the time that I picked him. He just moved into the top 10. So when you pick somebody, they're going to move up the board. When you pick somebody in round 1, they are going to skyrocket up the board. Right? Round 2, they'll move up a little bit. Round 3 through 7, they move up, but whether or not you'll be able to notice that they move up after just drafting them once is not always going to happen. Okay, so round 2 to the Colts. At this point, we're looking for cornerback, edge, wide receiver. That would be cornerback, edge, wide receiver. I definitely like Broswell. And he was the highest rated out of all those positions. So the more people come in and pick these players for the Colts, there won't be 7 on the draft card. They might be 6, 5, or they might be the top player. Okay, so then what other positions? We still haven't done a wide receiver here. Wide receiver round 3, I like Thrash. And now we're going into round 4. They either need another wide receiver or a guard. We haven't picked an offensive lineman yet. So if we look at the guard list, I like Cohen in round 4. Okay, so now we've done 2 of the 5 unique mocks. So we came in, we're doing a demonstration of FANATIC mode. I showed you the player board, and then I defined FANATIC mode as doing unique mocks. So we've done, at this point, 2 unique mocks. We're in iteration 3 or mock 3 of 5. When we turned on FANATIC mode, we said we were going to do 5. So who else do we like? Now, I don't remember seeing O'Dunn's there for the Colts before. So with everything the simulator's doing, this player has fallen. Okay. I definitely like O'Dunn's over Chop Robinson. So I'm picking O'Dunn's there. Okay, round 2. Is there a guard here? Not that I like. Is there a corner here? Not my favorite list. Edge. So part of FANATIC mode is it is challenging me. So Sanders is there. So I'm going to pick Sanders to the Colts in round 2. And then is there a safety in round 3? Definitely like Bullard in round 3. I also like Rod Moore in round 3. So there's a couple of good choices there. So as you get through your 3rd, 4th, 5th unique mock, it's going to challenge you to think very similar to what I'm saying. Like, do I like that player in this round? So notice like Sam Hartman is currently 46, and I keep skipping him when I pick. So is there an offensive tackle or defensive line here that I like? So definitely like this offensive tackle. Kieran Amagaji, you're going to hear a lot about him at the Combine. He is going to test off the charts at the Combine. Yes, he played at Yale. The guy is super smart, and he's going to be 99 percentile on a lot of the different things at the Combine. Okay. So now we are doing the fourth unique mock for the Colts. It will not let me pick the same players twice. So DeJean could play corner. So I do like he could play slot corner. So I definitely like DeJean. He's number one on their board. So if I pick the top player on the board, he might move up a little. He was 12th, I think, at the time I picked him. He might move up. Nobody on the board moves down because I picked the top player on the board. So I might move the player up, but I did not move any of the existing players on the board down. Okay. So out of this list here, I definitely like Mason Smith. So at this point, I'm focused more on the board than I am on the need. So now I'm at the point where I'm drafting for value. Is that player the right value at this if he falls to this spot? I like Roman Wilson in rounds 3 and 4. And then is there a guard here? Take Colby. Okay, so now I'm beginning the 5th of 5 unique mock drafts for the Colts. So it's going through, it's doing what it does, and it will not allow me to pick the same player twice. So who on this list do I like for the Colts? So we'll say, let's take a look at the corners. Is Kalen King available? Kalen King is not available. Lassiter's 44th. I'm picking him. Okay. And then Colt Bishop is sitting at the top of the round 2 board. I'm going to let that one go. Bethune in round 2, I do like. He was 50th on the board at the time that I picked him. Defensive tackle. No. Wide receiver, tight end. Singer. Okay. So this will be upcoming. This will be the last pick I need to make in the 5th unique mock I've done with FANATIC mode. And then we'll talk about what the player list looks like when we see the mock draft at the end. Okay. So it gives me my graphic here. So what I'm going to do now is go back to team needs. And we'll display that over here. And let's look up each of my first round picks and see where they are on the Colts board. So we find the Colts. Their player list is to the far right. We're going to look up Franklin. We're going to look up Newbin. Okay. So if we look, Franklin is 7th. Newbin was like 60th on the board. He moved up to 10 because I took him in round 1. O'Dunn's is 8th. DeJean moved up to 5th. Lassiter, I picked him in round 1. I think he was 40th on the board at the time I picked him. He moved up to 9. Okay. So let's remind ourselves of a few things that I've covered here. Every team on this simulator at NFL Draft Fanatics has its own player board. When you pick a player, they move up the board. That's just fundamental to how the site is designed. We did Fanatic mode, which was a unique mock draft for 5 straight drafts. So if you didn't remember where the button was, at the very beginning, I came and found Fanatic mode, and I flipped this on, and I set it to 5 to do 5 unique mocks. Every player I picked in each of those mocks moved up the board. The first round picks move up the most. It's really difficult to see a 4th round pick move up unless you pick them between 30 and 50 times. So it will take a lot of people to move the 4th round board, but that's what we're after. We want volatility in rounds 4 through 7, where we want it to be different every single time. So you may see the player that you picked in the 4th round of the Colts go to the Colts in like 5 to 10% of the mock drafts. And that's what we want. We want it to be different, but we don't want it to always be the same. If every Colts fan always takes the same player in the 1st round, that player will be at the top, and that will be the player that is most frequently mocked to the Colts, and that is also part of what we want. So at NFL Draft Fanatics, we want the opinions of fans and opinions of mock drafters to be what determines who is mock drafted to your team. We do not want it to be based upon somebody's interpretation of a player board or somebody's interpretation of the team needs. We want it to be based on the opinion of the fans. So we are here to represent the interest of the fans for the team, and that's the type of fanatic that we're looking for. If you have questions on this, you can find me on Twitter or X at NFL Draft Fanatic. There's no I in Fanatic on my Twitter. So if you do a mock draft, call me out in the tweet. If you take the time to call me out, I would be happy to take the time to respond back with a comment or a question. I truly appreciate everybody that has watched this video and this podcast. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. There will be other draft content. There's already content out there for other ways the simulator is different. There's other content out there on wide receivers in the top 100, defensive line in the top 100, and the list goes on. We've covered every position group, which players are in the top 100. After the new year, there will be more new content coming about the players that are further down the draft card. We look forward to the 2024 draft cycle. We're just beginning it now. I look forward to all feedback, positive and negative, and I wish you a great evening. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon.